If we could talk with animals. In a famous children's story, Dr. Dolittle is able to talk to and understand animals. This has long been a dream of many people, to be able to communicate with animals and know what they're thinking. For almost as long, scientists have wondered if animals actually have language. It seems clear to anyone who has a dog or a cat or who closely observe animals that there is certainly communication going on. But how do animals communicate? What do they say? And is it truly language? Recent research into everything from ants to chimpanzees is shedding light on animal communication. The language of smell. Many animals produce chemicals called pheromones, which send smell messages to other animals of the same species. These odors have different meanings. One odor attracts a mate, another sends a warning, another makes a territory. A honeybee, for example, makes over 36 different pheromones to communicate such information as where to find good flowers. An ant that has found good will take a bit of it and then head back home to the anthill. As it carries the food, it whips its stomach on the ground. This leaves a chemical trail or path so that other ants will know where to go for more food. Body language. Just as humans do, animals communicate with body language and sometimes gestures. In addition to using odors, for example, a honeybee uses its entire body in a complex dance to give other bees exact directions to flowers. A dog expresses happiness by wagging his tail, as most people know. But what is the dog in the photo saying? His stomach is on the ground, his rear end is up in the air, and his tail is winging. This means I want to play. Chimpanzees in the wild communicate a wide variety of gestures and facial expressions, as we learned from the research of primatologist Jane Goodall. To express anger, for example, a chimp stands upright on two legs, moves with a swagger, a proud walk, swinging from side to side, and waves his arms and throws branches. A nervous chimp who is afraid of a more powerful chimp will lower himself to the ground, then he either holds out his hand or shows his rear end to the other chimp. Interestingly, when a chimp smiles, it is not a smile of happiness. Instead, it is an expression similar to the nervous, fearful grin that a human makes in a tense or stressful situation. A powerful chimp will reassure a nervous, fearful chimp by touching, hugging, or kissing him. Vocalizations. Like humans, many animals vocalize, but we are only beginning to understand the meaning of these sounds as they move through the ocean. Some whales make use of echolocation. First, they make clicking noises that travel through the water as sound waves. When these sound waves encounter an object, such as a boat or prey, such as fish, they rebound or echo. The whales use these echoes to locate and identify the objects the echoes are bouncing from, even in crowded water where it's difficult to see. Some whales also produce mysterious songs. These are probably caused to communicate with other members of the pod or group and to know where each member is. So far, we don't know much more than that. Research into whale communication is especially difficult because different populations of whales have different songs, even if those whales are of the same species. We have a better understanding of a chatter of prairie dogs. A professor at Northern Arizona University, Kanslo Bobchikov, has spent over 10 years studying one colony of prairie dogs in the wild. He records their sounds. He also carefully observes their actions and all events that happen at the same time as the sounds. He then feeds the data into a computer. The computer puts together the chatter, the talking, and the actions by utilizing the computer in this way. Sloboshikov claims that he has identified about 50 words. So, what are these prairie dogs talking about? They often alert each other when they spot danger from such creature as a human, dog, or coyote. Surprisingly, in the chatter, they can apparently distinguish shape, colors, and sizes. They might say, for example, there's a tall blue human coming from the north, about a person wearing blue clothes. Sloboshikov believes that they can distinguish gender, a man from a woman, and a dog from a coyote. Their chatter also varies according to the degree of danger. Is this creation very dangerous, or just something to be careful about? The use of symbols by dolphins. Many scientists wonder about animals' capacity to understand a system of symbols, such as language. At the University of Hawaii, studies with dolphins have been going on since 1979. Researchers are teaching these ocean mammals a language of hand signals that includes nouns, ball, basket, pipe, adjectives, big, small, red, directions, left, right, verbs, go, take, and prepositions in under. The dolphins prove that they understand by following commands such as go to the ball on your right and take it to the basket. There is even clear evidence that dolphins understand the grammatical difference between subjects and objects. The head of the research program, Dr. Ruiz Herman, said that with a vocabulary of about 50 words, the dolphins demonstrate their intelligence by following new commands that they have never before experienced or practiced. The use of symbols by primates. Since the 1970s, other researchers have been studying the capacity for language among primates, especially among chimpanzees, because chimps don't have vocal organs that allow them to form spoken words. Researchers decided to teach them other types of language. One of the earliest subjects, a chimp named Washu, began to learn ASL, American Sign Language, the hand signals of deaf Americans, when she was less than a year old. By age 4, she understood and used 132 ASL signs. In other studies, researchers have been communicating with chimps by using a keyboard with spatial symbols called lexicograms. One chimp named Kenzie picked up this language naturally. In other words, he watched as people tried unsuccessfully to teach this language to his mother. How much can chimps understand? And what can they do with these words? They understand the difference between take the potato outdoors and Go outdoors and get the potato. They understand adjectives such as good, funny, hungry, and stupid. They can combine words into short sentences. You me out, or me banana, me you give. Perhaps most interestingly, they can coin new words or phrases when they don't know a word, for example, water bird for a swan and green banana for a cucumber. And they can express emotion, me sad. Language, but is this language? What distinguishes communication from true language? Do chimps actually have the capacity for language? There is much disagreement about this. Some people approve that chimps can acquire the vocabulary for only a 2.5-year-old human. They also point out that a sentence such as Luna tomorrow scare snake river monster is not actually Shakespearean English. It goes without saying that there is a gap between the language ability of chimps and humans, but clearly this gap is not as wide as we used to think it was. Recent research is now focusing on the structures and activity of the brain. Biologists have looked at one small area of the brain, the planum temporal, which humans use to understand and produce language. In chimps, this is larger on the left side of the brain than on the right. In the journal Science, researchers tell us that this is essentially identical to the planum temporal in humans. This is not surprising to people who believe that chimps do have the capacity of language. After all, they say 99% of the genetic material in chimps and humans is identical, making chimps our closest relative. Conclusions. It is clear, then, that animals certainly communicate in various ways. However, the question, is it language? Is still open. The famous linguist Noam Chomsky believed that what distinguishes communication from true language is syntax, that is, the use of grammar and word order. So he believed that only humans can have language. However, now we know that some animals, dolphins, chimps, have at least simple syntax. Louis Herman suggests some people think of language like pregnancy. You either have it or you don't. But he and other researchers prefer to see language as a continuum of skills. In other words, some animals simply have more than others.